Hello, dear listener. Hello, dear viewer. Hello to people doing neither. We are Bergkamp Wonderland, and this is ABW Live. It is with me. Hello, my name's Dani. I used to support the football. And it's Nick. All right, Nick.
Hello, my name's Nick.
Ah, you're the only one who could be bothered to turn up out of all. How many people in the combined groups? 200-300 people?
Yeah, they're all busy washing their hair, and no, they're not. They're all arguing with each other.
I'm watching Chris having a mental breakdown at half time.
Well, he's not allowed on Twitter anymore. Where's he going to vent his frustrations and opinions?
Yeah, thank you very much, Twitter. It's your bloody fault that Chris is plaguing all of our... Thank God he's not in our Discord, but we have a Discord, and it's been quite good today. It's been quite reserved. There's been a couple of people having a little bit of an argument, and we said, if you two are going to argue, I want you to strip to the waist and we'll televise it and make a few quid out of it. That's what we're going to do. Anyway, let's talk about the foot. First of all, we're in no hurry. We've started a little bit late because I have another YouTube account. I just use it for trolling people, and I follow every single bit of Arsenal information on there. There's about 60 or 70 accounts I follow. And at one point today, there was 13 people going live after the game. 13 shows, Nick. 13.
Well, they're all jumping on the Arsenal losing bandwagon, obviously. Well, not all of them, but some of them. Like, oh, quick, let's get those clicks in. Let's all have a meltdown and smash our phones on live YouTube.
Is that what he did? I hear that DT walked. We don't have a problem with any of them. You carry on doing what you're doing, people.
We're just DT. He's all right. I don't like how they're doing this whole arguing with each other for the sake of arguing, trying to wind each other up. That's not. I don't like that stuff. That sort of stuff makes me uncomfortable.
But we do that to Chris in the WhatsApp group.
Yeah, but he loves it.
Yeah, so we thought we're not going to go and rush. And I watched Tom at the Gooner Talk, and then I watched who else did I watch? The Hybrid Squad with Sophie, Amanda, Kev, and an Everton fan. So I was in there watching those, and two very good shows. Tom had a little bit of a breakdown. The Arsenal have nearly broken Tom. That's the state of play at the moment. I haven't even tweeted that we're live. How shocking is that? There's no need for that, is there? So I want to go and do that. So you're going to go and say hello to a few people in the box. Give that a little tinkle. Actually, you're going to go to our Discord, and I'm going to put it in our Discord, Nick. I haven't been in there for a week. Have you missed me?
Not really. There's had quite a few people going at. Well, I say going at it, just talking in there pretty much all week. I've been trying to talk to them and keep it going. Like you said, they were arguing in there early, and I just said, look, none of us know how to ban anyone, so if you're going to argue, you're going to have to just sort it out yourself.
We don't do banning. You're grown adults. You call each other every name under the sun. Let's say hello to some people, shall we? We've got Mr. Epic was first in the chat box. What the hell is happening at Arsenal? Tonight, we are not going to find out the answer to that because Arsenal are about as organised as my hair and my beard. It's an absolute shit show. Gunner 93. We left Highbury to then play Nketiah up top. That's very true. Mark Bennett. Obviously, Willian is a major talking point. We're going to hopefully no one noticed that he played tonight. Well, he almost can you classify that as playing? Does that count? I don't think it really does. Wandering around the pitch doing fuck all and passing, trying to do passes the length of the pitch and not actually getting to anybody on your side. Ridiculous. We've done Mark Burnett. Zoidberg, are you making your Arteta out banner? Are you Arteta out yet? Because I'm not. I don't think you're making it.
Not yet, but I'm heading in that direction.
We have Lars Goran N. On the positive side, nice to see Martinelli again. I actually thought, how long will it be before he comes on, gets injured, and has to go off again? But luckily it didn't. And 2164385182.3 says, so, are we happy Gunners? I think today proved we have travelled as far as we can with this squad, not likely to get any better, in my honest opinion. I think you could be quite right there. Michael in Sweden has done, what little things are they? What are they? He's on Twitch.
Look like a Christmas pudding clown.
I do love a Christmas pudding. Did you say clown?
Yeah.
Of all the Christmas puddings I've got, my favourite is the clown. I've actually been eating mince pies today. I shouldn't really, should I? I bought 3 boxes of mince pies. I don't even like mince pies. They're on top of the fridge, so I can't eat them. So I got them down in my grabber, and I've eaten 3 of the fuckers. Ridiculous. Oh, here we go. Zoidberg has done a quote. To quote Homer Simpson, Ceballos, cut. Elneny, cut. Luiz, cut. Saka, cut. Mulhouse, cut. Leno, cut. Pepe, cut. Willian, cut. Martin, cut.
Who's Martin?
I don't know. I don't even know who Mulhouse is. I think that's a French team. Chris will know. Somebody ring him up. Ask him if he wants to come on and explain who Mulhouse are. Phil Macker from That There Shiny... Is he on the internet at the same time as you, Nick?
No, I hope not.
Oh,
he better be on 4G. He can't be on Wi-Fi. Norwich will go down. Everyone's got their Christmas lights on.
Oh, Lord. Right. K-Man 1867. Thanks for using your Prime sub last week, K-Man. It's very kind of you, Treacle. Sad times. Mr. Epic is DT Danajaka. I saw the clip. I didn't watch it. Oh, here we go. Hantiyumi, as soon as Arteta is gone, players like Luiz, Willian will be world-class. They just want Arteta to be sacked. Well, they have come from Chelsea, and Chelsea have got a habit of making sure their players can revolt against the manager. God, there's loads of people in there. How many people? 113 people. Have you people got nothing better to do with your time? Bill Butler says hello. Mika for life. We know Mika, friend of the pod, and he went away because Arsenal was too much, and now he's come back. Mika, tell the people, are you glad that you come back? Have you picked an ideal opportunity to come back? And he actually gave us his Prime sub, and he was watching on Twitch. So cheers for that. Colo's Used Cars. I asked him in the Twitch comments last show, people. My God, you went crazy. I think there was nearly 100 comments. Normally there's only 3 or 4. And I asked Colo's Used Cars if he can get me a Mark 1 Ford Fiesta for 500 quid, because they're worth an absolute fortune. Divune, whose name I can now say correctly. What does Willian have on Arteta? What does most of that squad have on? I think Willian, Luiz, Xhaka, Ceballos, possibly Elneny. Most of these, Mustafi, they've all got something on him. I don't know what it is. Maybe because they all played when he left his... maybe might have left something in the locker room after the game one time, and they've stolen it. Jimmy H says good evening. Jim Howson, who's been on the show recently, says hi chaps. Liam Greyhurst, that name's familiar. I don't know why it is. Can we have Emery back? Last I looked, his Villarreal were winning today, and they're only 2 points off the top because Barcelona drew. Scott Macbeth, it's bad when Think need 8 wins to draw and 24 games to stay up. Oh, 8 wins and 24 draws to stay up. Yeah. Oh, Ryan. Hello, Danny. How are you doing? I am doing very good, Ryan. Thank you very much. Faisal and some numbers. Are these players this bad? To me, this squad should be top 10. It is Arteta's fault. Well, they are a pretty decent squad. Another message from Jim. Nick Smith on the Instagram says Arteta in. Oh, good. Me too. I say keep him. Chris Jones, bless you, Danny, for putting in more effort than Arsenal squad today. You're going to claim some of that. Oh, here we go. My mate Dean's there. You're going to claim some of that glory for turning up, Nick?
No, I don't have nothing better to do. I'd already streamed on Twitch today and finished my game, so I've got nothing else to play.
Oh, what game are you playing? It wouldn't have been Cyberpunk 2077 because that's been recalled. It's shit.
No, not that trash. I saw that coming a mile off. I was playing Mafia.
You can
Mafia
get lost. Shut up. Jim says I look like Santa. Fucking Mafia. Jesus. Oh, another new name. Rami A says, why do we only show up for the second half? You got a point there, Rami, because I thought second half we were pretty good. There again, that seems to be the way, which is the point that Rami is making. Doesn't show anything new, but Martinelli looked ready to receive every pass, but no one would pass it. I think, Nick, that possibly might have been they're not used to forwards wanting the ball. Do you think that could be the situation?
Yeah, I mean, not to jump too far ahead of the game, our centre forward today got the ball, on his own in the penalty area, and rather than take a touch, look up and go, I'll just pass it into the net, just kick the ball away from him as far as he can. It's like, I don't want it.
And Willian did that, didn't he? I'll have a shot. He nearly killed someone in Anfield. The ball went so far out of the stadium. Oh, John Cronin. Reckon we got some Spurs fans pretending to be gooners in here. Oh, I don't know about that. Jimmy the Greek. Hello, guys. Hello, Jimmy. How are you? Nikki Hormonia. Should we be asking for the season to be null and void? Now then, ladies and gentlemen, this man is a scumbag. Not only have I known him since I actually remember having a conversation with his mum while he was in his mummy's belly. And now Dean has his own baby. This is the famous Dean, the Everton fan, who came to Arsenal when we beat Everton 7-1, and he was celebrating because Everton managed to get into the UEFA Cup that season. And he came to the Champions League final with me. Because none of my... Like tonight, most of the people who support Arsenal can't be fucking bothered to turn up. Same with the Champions League final. None of my Arsenal supporting mates wanted to go. I was driving you all the way there. I think it was 40, 50 quid a ticket, and I paid all the petrol. I think Dean paid some. Anyway, Dean... You abandoned us. You've left God Manchester. You, sir, are dead to me. And you're an Everton fan, so you can go fuck yourself. David, Mr. Waffles is there. Says hello. Oh, God, the page is moving too quick. What other new names? Look what Dean's put. Cheeky monkeys. Here we are. GP. Willian Gallas wants Mikel Arteta sacked and Patrick Vieira to take over. Would that make any differences, Nick? Because he really hasn't done much with New York City, and he was with Nice. And he had Balotelli at Nice at one point as well. Done fuck all with Nice. Would you have him?
Well, I think even if Chris managed Arsenal, we'd get the 2 or 3 months bounce back and play all right. But then we'd end up finishing between 6th and 10th. And then this time next year would be crap again.
Oh, is that a judgment on the team or a judgment on Chris's managerial abilities?
Both.
Oh, dear. He doesn't watch the show, so I think you'll get away with that one. Top Nick 4. If Arteta gets sacked, surely Edu must go, as most decisions this summer were made by both of them. They've not really had much time to get stuff done, though, have they? So, Dejan Bulgin. I will be amazed if I've said that right. Let me know, Dejan. I would play all the kids in team for the rest of the season. Simply, they are not good enough. Shaken team. Something like that. Yes. Arjan Yadav? Another one I might have got right. Where does today's starting midfield ranks in the Premier League table? You know the answer to that, didn't you, Nick?
What? Yeah, about 15th.
Oh, look,
if not longer, if not lower.
Giving me grief. I've got some stats before the show so we can get into it proper. Tee Merry Christmas, Dirty Santa. Scumbag. Another new name. Rocky Balboa. I like what you've done there. Lovely. 5 years, same players, basically same results. Until we ship out Deadwood, I cannot see anything getting better. Yeah, very true. Chris Baird. Does William have a clause in his contract to never be subbed? Okay, where else? We're nearly down to all your comments. See, someone's given us some money. It's very kind of you. I'll go and have a look for that. I'm trying to find people. Oh, here we go. Someone else who hasn't said something before. Graham Page, gone into Tier 4. Looks like we'll be slipping down to League 4. I think you could be quite close there. Petito 100 has given us 5 American dollary dues, Nick. So what are you going to do with your 0% of that? Because I'm taking it all.
I don't know. I think I'll buy some more mince pies for you to eat at Christmas.
You could spend it on a free copy of Cyberpunk 2077 because I can get all your money back.
Rather eat your old mince pies and play that.
Jesus. Right. Petito, thank you very much, mate. He says, we sold Giroud, then get a 20-goal striker in Lacazette just to find he is crap and now have to start a kid up top. Arsenal logic. Oh, good job Chris isn't listening. He's not happy about Lacazette not starting. Where else are we down to? Arsenio Wonga. Hello, boys. GP. I think we've caught up. I had a message from every single person that's in there. We can't read all the messages. I'm going to leave that up there, Petito, because that's very kind of you to give us that, because we can spend all that money on the pod only costs 250 quid a year to run, plus another 175. So we can go to all these places at once and watch all these gooners, gather them together so we can all cry together. So we nearly got that already. So we're very kind of you. Right, Nick, a few stats before we start the show. I was right. You know, I do love some stats. You ready for this?
I'm
ready. Some tissues ready. This isn't going to be. It's going to be hard, tearful. Right, we have already lost more league games this season after the 14 games than we have done for 13 of the previous 27 Premier League seasons, and one of them had 42 games. So to unpack that, there's been 27 Premier League seasons ever. In 13 of those, when the season was finished, we lost 7 games or less because we've lost 8 already this season. What do you think to that?
Yeah, sounds about right. I think there's another one they said on Sky today. This is like our worst points tally or worst start to the season since the 70s. And I can't remember the 70s. Were they any good?
I was there, but I didn't like football until the early 80s. So,
that's good. So it doesn't obviously before the Premier League, so that doesn't count.
Yeah. So football didn't exist before the Premier League, as we all know. Twitter's been a tit. Stop moving the page down when I'm trying to let people know that we're live. Stick that there, and then I'm going to go do that, and then I'm going to do that, and then I'll be ready for the next one. Lovely jubbly. Next fact. In 1998-99, we let in 17 goals all season. So far this season, we've let in 18. And that season, we only finished runners-up and won the Charity Shield, Nick. Wenger didn't get leave for this, did he?
No, he left because they made him.
That's true, actually. Some more wonderful stats for you people to have tattooed on your parts of your body and look at when you're feeling happy. We have the 8th best defensive record, but the 16th worst attack. We are 19th in the form league table, only because Sheffield United have just given up and they have got 1 point all season. Shots per game, we're 15th. Possession, we're 8th. Pass success rate, we're 4th. Average player rating, we are 17th. Sickening. Right, someone, I think Tom said on his show, or someone messaged him and said, Willian, 900 Premier League minutes this season, 1 shot on target. People want to talk about Willian. So what do you think to Willian so far? Not just tonight, but the season so far, because we can't spend the whole night just talking about Everton, because that would be too depressing.
Well, I did like him early on in his career when he played at Chelsea, and I did like the fact that he ran out on a Tottenham medical to join Chelsea instead. So you got to love him for that. But I don't know why he's at Arsenal. Apparently, he only went to Arsenal because we offered him a 3-year deal over Chelsea's 2-year deal, which says it's all about money, and he's I know it's a strong word to say mercenary, but you get what I'm saying when I say things like that. But what does he want to do? He's won the league, and I think he was in the Europa League squad. I don't think he won the Champions League with Chelsea. So they obviously don't want him. What does he want to achieve by being at Arsenal? Because he's not going to win anything, is he? He's not going to, probably not even going to get into the Champions League by the time he's in his early 40s. So why are we signing players on mega money if they've got no ambition? Yeah, they might have Premier League experience, but if they've lost the passion to want to play, you might as well have gone and got 2 or 3 hungry 20, 21-year-olds at the Championship instead of having one player on nearly 200 grand a week that doesn't seem to really care.
Yes, someone made a point earlier on here. Oh, Dijan, let me know how you say your name phonetically, and I will say I am shit at saying people's names that aren't basically Dave, Alan, Trevor, Nigel, and Nick. I'm awful at them. Dean says, get Big Sam in. Too late. He's gone to his 8th Premier League club, West Brom, and we're playing them in a few weeks, so I expect them to hammer us with 5 ex-Arsenal players playing for West Brom. Did you know that?
Gibbs. Can't think of anyone else.
Oh, we have the big centre back. We sold him to Swansea. Well, I can't remember his name. We've also got Ajay. He was at Arsenal for a little while. We got him from Charlton. Who is the centre back?
The one who went to Newcastle. Did he go to Newcastle?
No, he didn't. No.
Same.
I can't remember his name. And I think there's a couple of other players there that were at Arsenal for a short time. Loki says, at least we have 14 points. 13 would be unlucky. Yeah, that's that draw against. Did we draw Southampton? Yeah, that stopped us being on 13. That broke all of our bad luck. Who else is? No, right. Go back and have a look at some more of my notes. Eddie Nketiah. This is what Eddie has done so far this season. 4 goals in his Arsenal career in the Premier League. 4 in 32 games. That's not good enough. I like Eddie, but Eddie isn't ready. This today, 76 minutes, 2 shots. The last game, 65 minutes, 1 assist, 1 shot. The game before that, 8 minutes, no shots. 15 minutes, no shots. 25 minutes, 1 shot. 14 minutes, no shots. Today, we had 2 shots on target against Everton. So, is that the problem, Nick? That we saw a couple of times today that when if you look at the last 5 minutes of the game, how many shots did we? I think we had most of our possession, most of our attacking. Kyle Bartley. Mark Bennett, thank you very much. That is the chap spent time at Rangers, decent player. Yeah, you look at the last 5 minutes and the extra 90 seconds of extra injury added on time. We looked pretty impressive in that time. But even then, when you saw we were getting near the goal, it was pass, shoot around the goal, shoot over the goal, shoot at the goalkeeper, scramble, and their defenders managed to clear it. How are we going to sort a situation out like that? Because he has tried every single player who can kick a ball in a forward direction, tried playing them up front, and every single time it hasn't worked. Because Aubameyang is having the worst time of his career. He's got 2 goals this season from open play, 1 from a penalty in the Premier League, and that's it. Lacazette started the season off with 3 goals in 3 Premier League games and then got dropped. Martinelli is back now, and Hector couldn't score in a place called Brothel because he's only 12. What do you think?
Well, I mean, it's not a Arteta thing, you know, when we're trying to walk the ball into the net. We've been doing that for quite a long time, haven't we? You know, we've got, especially, you know, the last few years of the Wenger, you know, regime, just nothing but pass. And, like, I mean, it was always a running joke on here for years. You know, people had asked the question, you know, should we shoot more? And the answer to that is always yes, because if you don't score a goal, you are 100% not going to win the game. But I mean, I can't understand. Maybe the Willian and Nketiah is sort of 2 of the same sort of problems, because Arteta recalled him and said, I want you to come and play for me, even though Leeds in the Championships didn't want him. He wanted Willian, and it's almost as if like he's playing them to prove himself right, because if he drops them and doesn't pick them, you know, the higher argument say, well, hang on, you wanted these players, we've backed you and got the players you wanted, and now you're not playing them, which is sort of, you know, the end for a manager, which what happens to Mourinho quite often on his 3rd or 4th season, where the players he'd spent mega money on, he goes to the board and say, I want to get rid of them because they're all crap now, give me more money for different players. And they say, well, you wanted him last year, you know, things like that. But I don't know why Nketiah. I mean, I said this in the WhatsApp group and a few times, you know, the backup strikers we've had over the years at Arsenal, you know, like your Wiltords, your Carnus, I know we're going back quite a long while. I mean, God, even Bentner, he's got more on him than Eddie Nketiah. I mean, he was an idiot, and if anyone's read his book, proved he's a really big idiot, but he had the talent, whereas this guy, yeah, he might have the right, you know, he might have the right attitude as a footballer, but I don't think he's got enough talent. And I've heard, oh, from 6 yards he's lethal. Well, so am I, but I'm never going to get there, am I?
Sadly true. Someone made a good comment in the chat. Mika for Life says, we are in free fall. I see us possibly doing a Leeds and disappearing for a long time. I hope he doesn't mean outside the Premier League. We can't finish top 4 in the Championship this season. Does make you wonder, doesn't it, where things are going to end up, and where, at what point is enough? I don't want the manager gone. Someone did ask, Julian asked a question here. I was going to go and find it. Julian, one of our YouTube members. Where's it gone? There we go. Julian Salmondo from Paraguay says, does anybody on the panel think Arteta should go now? Personally, not yet. I don't think he should go at all, because it's not going to change anything. I know we said at the beginning of the show, but there's more people here now, Nick. So what's your thoughts on when or if should Arteta go?
Well, I'm just sort of repeating what I said on Wednesday's show, but come February, if we're still like we are now, and near the relegation zone, and we're not, no one's playing any better, not the whole team, but we haven't got Aubameyang scoring but saving us every game or whatever, then the club are going to have to really think about getting rid of him, because if we got, I don't think we'd get relegated. I think there's 3 or 4 teams worse than us, and I think we probably just, I know it sounds weird, we'll probably just have enough to stay up, which, you know, that's not a good thing to say at Arsenal. But Arteta's, the job they brought in Arteta to do doesn't start until next summer, when all these players that are leaving on a free are going to get replaced. Now, I don't think they're going to get replaced with mega money superstars from abroad, but they are going to have to be replaced in the squad. And if Arteta can't get this squad, you know, if Arteta can't keep this squad out of the relegation fight, they've got to seriously consider, is he going to be the man to build a squad to get us back up into the top 4 and possibly challenging for the league, because that's obviously, you know, his long-term plan. But I know it says if something really bad did happen and we ended up getting relegated, we would, and he's right, we would struggle like hell in that championship, because that is a very strong league. That's a lot more physical, and you've got to be organised in there, which we are not an organised side at all. We're good at, like, you know, the flary scoring the odd Hollywood goal, you know, but to keep everyone organised for 90 minutes, that's not something we have done for a long while, have we?
You know, it's making me wonder at what point will the owners, because I'd say 50% of the fan base, maybe if not more, want Arteta gone now. At what point is it going to be a combination of the players revolting? Is it going to be the league position? Is it going to be the run of form? Is it going to be knocked out of the doubt they give a fuck about the League Cup, which we're playing against Man City, which if Man City take that seriously, we're not going to beat them, because, well, there again, Arteta's probably going to use all the Europa League kids, and we had 6 wins out of 6 for those. But if Arteta, I know Man City have got Aguero coming back from injury, and so he might be playing in there. But I'd like to know what do you in the chat box think the criteria, in as short a sentence as you can, the criteria for when the owners go, sorry Arteta, your time is done. Because remember, when Wenger went, some people wanted Arteta, and it looked like the board were going to get him, and then an experienced manager came along and they went, actually Arteta, no. So he wasn't their first choice then. I'm not even sure he was their first choice this time, because you've got a player learning on the job, a manager, been a player for so long, you've got a manager learning on the job, and that's not a good thing. So yeah, let me know.
Have you heard his comments today after the game?
I saw the people getting angry at his comments. Have you got them?
Well, I could read them professionally, or I could just wing it on what I remember. That he said he's not worried that we're losing games because we've been dominating the games and we've only slightly lost, basically. And I'm like, I don't think we've been dominating games for the last 2-3 months. I don't think we've really dominated a side since Fulham, the first game of the season.
And that was only for short periods of time, wasn't it? That's the one good game that. Yeah. Yeah,
like a lot of us been saying, we've been good like the first half or the second half, or, you know, in 20-30 minute spells, but I wouldn't say we've dominated anyone. I mean, we've been having possession, but that's only because the other teams just let us have it because they know we're not going to do anything with it.
That is sadly true. Well, I was going to go, oh dear, trying to do another tweet. This is why people wondered why we didn't do the last podcast live, because I have to do all this stuff during the show and produce it and make sure everything's all running at this properly. And sometimes it means I don't talk properly. Right, so we're going to go and have a look and see what. Here we go. Julian Salmon says, "Would the Cronkies sell if we went down?" We're not going down, so that's not going to happen. Liam Greyhurst says, having no fans in the ground is saving Arteta from a lot of stick, definitely. Imagine how toxic it would be if the fans were there. Indeed. Thunder Road is here. We'll have a smaller squad next season anyway, not being in Europe, which will coincide nicely with those out of contract come the end of the season. That's where I am, Thunder. I think come the end of this season, so many players are going to leave. Personally, I don't. Someone tried to explain it to me, and I didn't really understand it. Ozil, Kolasinac are never playing for this club again. So, but we're going to have to pay all their wages until the 30th of June next year. So if they're not going to play, and we've got to pay them, why don't we just pay them now and get them to get lost? If anybody can make any sense of that, because there's a whole load of them. Mustafi's another one going.
I'll tell you why, Danny, because it's a lot of contracts where, like Ozil, he's on 350 grand a week. He's not on that when he's not even playing. No way is he not on that. The reason Ozil's not in the squad and they're not playing is because they're not getting, you know, their win bonuses, appearance bonuses and stuff like that. Whereas, you know, Ozil's not playing for this club again. And I think, I'm not sure the exact figures. Let's just say we've got to pay him 18 million a year, which is 350 grand a week. We've decided, right, well, we'll save £6 or £7 million by not picking him, which we can use, you know, to pay other people's wages. And as I'm saying, if we got rid of him, I think we tried to get rid of him before we got that loyalty bonus in
Was that 8 million?
Yeah, 7th September. I think that's why we wanted to get rid of him. But what can you do? You know, people say, "Oh, just get rid of him," but then we'd pay. You know, if we're going to pay more money to get rid of him, we might as well pay less money. And still, I mean, he's gone, isn't he? He's not registered for the squad. He can't play. He's not gonna register him again in January. Another manager might, but I can't see why, because irrelevant to what people say, Ozil, for about the last year when he did play, he was definitely on the decline. Not saying he's a terrible footballer, but he was definitely on the way down.
True, yeah. And also someone did say that while he is at Arsenal, there's still plenty of mugs still going at there buying stuff, because the reason when the contract went up is because we got all of his image rights and everything with his name on or photo on. We make money from him. There's people still using advertising stuff. Although Adidas have dropped him, Germany have dropped him, Arsenal have dropped him. I don't know why people are still obsessed by him. He's done fuck all since 2018. There you go. Mark Bennett has got a little ray of sunshine and says, a fit Partey, arrested Gabriel returning from suspension, and a creative midfielder, and we turn this around. And if I'd add to that, get rid of the players bringing the club down, because we've seen that Ozil did a tweet today saying, "Oh, he weeps and turn to God, and that will turn the club round." Well, if that was the case, you could do that, then everybody would turn to God, and then all 20 teams would be Premier League champions the same season. I don't think that is going to work. Unless you go to the Viking gods, because they don't fuck around. They'll be bloody lightning and thunder, and Thor will come down and put his thing up your bum, and it'll be a nightmare. Here we go. Thunder with a point. Why would the owner sell their assets at the lowest value, e.g., drop from the Premier League to the Championship? Yeah, flog a ball before we go down. That's a good one. Naz says Arsene Wenger in. Naz, cheeky. Is that a viable idea, Nick, to maybe get Wenger in for the rest of the season? Some people have said it. I don't think it's nonsense, but not at you, not anything against you, Naz, but just in general. Well,
I don't think we'd get relegated if we brought Arsene back for the until the end of the summer. But like I said, it's a big rebuild job. That is a tough one. Like I say, the owners will know if the straw breaks the camel's back and we have to sack him, which is probably relegation, because we could probably lose £100 million in TV money if we got relegated, which I still don't think we got enough to go down. But then you've heard so many teams say this over the years, obviously not as big as us, but like your Newcastles. I mean, even they're back now, even Leeds. Everyone thought they were too big to go down, and when they got relegated in 2004, they said, "Oh, they're a big club; they'll bounce right back up again." And what was it? 16 years, a big club like that, like Leeds, and I know it's mismanaged and that, but I think they would replace him. Like I said, beginning of February, if we're still playing as bad as this.
Good God, no!
And we're,
2 more months of it.
Yeah, but I don't like to say that, but I don't know. Arteta needs to pull his finger out and manage the club, because he's trying to keep everyone happy. And in my opinion, he's trying to play Arteta football, which is kind of like Guardiola football. But unfortunately, the majority of his players are crap. To be blunt, he's got to say, right, I'm going to pick these 3 or 4 players. These are my linchpins in the side, which would be, a Gabriel, a Partey, whether it's Lacazette or Aubameyang, whoever, I don't care. And if that means dropping one for the rest of the season, I don't care. He's got to pick these 4 players or 4 or 5 players and say, you are pivotal. Everyone else, you're expendable. Make them look good. Just run around like, mental person. Just create them time and space on the ball. We are going to play around these 3, 4, 5 players. Whereas I'd rather have 4 or 5 players playing really well and the other players not really doing anything, rather than 11, 12 players being crap.
Yeah, if only it was as simple as that, eh?
Well, it's on Football Manager, I heard. You just click a few buttons, I think.
All right, a few more comments. Avon Teddington says, handling of Ozil has been necessary. Saliba not so good, but that's mainly down to Edu. Yeah. Breaking news from Manraj Gosal. Arsenal are rubbish. Could just confirm that for us. Thank you very much. Rocky Balboa says, agreed, Ozil's old news, past his sell by date, and certainly not a solution to Arsenal's current problems. Alex has, I'm not going to attempt your surname, Alex, unless you put it phonetically. Why do people think God lets you win if you pray to him, and follows it up with, if everyone prays to God, who wins? Or maybe it's everybody loses. That could well be the case. Polo Bear. Don't worry, Chelsea are charity FC. Expect to win Boxing Day. Or maybe we'll have a look in the bins around the back of Stamford Bridge and see what players they've thrown out. Avon has put Loki in. My reference to the Viking gods. I think they're Viking. They're all the same. Thunder Road, 125 watching and not even 40 likes. Hit that thumbs up. Don't make Thunder angry, because when Thunder's angry, the shit goes down. I don't know why I said it like that. I don't think shit goes anywhere. Ray Anderson, hello, Ray. Did you do your usual hello from, is it Jamaica, Ray? Is that where you are? Did Ray do a hello from Jamaica? If he did, I've missed it. We do like knowing. If people make the show a little bit more interesting, tell us where you are, and we'll say hello to you and or the country that you are in. Ray says, I heard that if Ozil doesn't play, we save 100 grand a week. Don't know if this is true. Kind of what Nick was just saying. Yeah. Chris Jones, can we sign Thor in January, Dani? Yes, we certainly can. Actually, I'm a bit excited. Is it Chris Hemsworth is playing Hulk Hogan in the new Hulk Hogan film? Oh, dude, I spend a lot of my time watching old WWF. I was looking at China thinking, sad she died. GP says turn to Santa. We will all be doing that mostly for the next week, hoping that he's going to bring us something nice, because we've all been good. But remember, Santa only brings you the little presents, doesn't bring you expensive stuff, because not everyone can expect expensive stuff, especially you've been naughty. And we all know that Chris is getting a lump of coal for Christmas and a tangerine, possibly. Rudy, hello, Rudy. Says, what the hell was the Cedric signing for? Pablo Mari, what happens to this guy? I think maybe because Cedric is a free transfer and can play in multiple positions, but Mari he's come back, played well, didn't he, Nick? When he came back and played, and I had to look at the injury side. He's not injured, so have you any idea what could be going on there?
No, because I think he's only played a couple in the last 2 Europa League games. I think he came on and then played the next one, I think. But I mean, Cedric, that one confuses me, because Bellerin has played every minute pretty much in the league, and then he gets suspended, and then he brings in Maitland-Niles, who he won't play. Yet Cedric has played pretty much every game at right back in the Europa League, and then Bellerin's suspended, but he goes with Maitland-Niles, and now Bellerin's back, and he still goes with Maitland-Niles. And I don't know if this is an Arteta trying to think, well, you've been suspended for a game, so I'm going to drop you for the next game, not bringing you back, to prove a point. But then he brought Pepe back after being suspended. So I don't know why he's trying to prove a point to Bellerin and not to Pepe. But, I don't know why we're signed. I mean, it's weird that we signed Mari and then about a fortnight later we spent 25 million on Gabriel. That is a weird thing, because it's not like there was loads of people in for Gabriel. To be honest, I'd never actually heard of him. I know Chris has watched him since he was like, a sperm in France. Or, well, I'm not saying that. He didn't grow up in France, did he? But you get where I mean. Might as well have done. They're all over there in the Farmers League. But yeah, it's weird why, because Arteta was here when we got them in on loan. So he obviously wanted them because, he was in charge in December. If he didn't want them, he'd have said, nope, I don't want them in loan. So that just proves the point. Who is making the signings? Because it seems,
he knows,
depending on your agenda, whether you like the manager or dislike the manager, the good players, the manager signed him. The bad players, the football director person signed him, and people like that. So, yeah, it's weird that we signed him, and even, like I said, Saliba, and they're not anywhere near. It's I don't know. Next question.
Bit on Pablo Murray. He played, I did know this. He played the other night in the under-23s, beat Leicester 2-1. He made a back three with Chambers to his left and Saliba to his right. Norton Cuffy is 16 years old and he played the whole game at right back. Balogun played up front with Moller, the Swedish kid who looks on fire. And Aziz, who has been at Arsenal since he was 5. Miguel, another great young man. He played the entire game as well. And there's so many 16, 17, 18-year-olds playing for our under-23s. I'm surprised. Oh, pardon me. Blame Lacazette for that. So just looking at Mari this season, he played the last 2 Europa League games, the full 90 minutes for each one, which is a bit weird. If you're playing back-to-back 90-minute games in the space of a week for them, but then you hasn't been in the Premier League squad at all. But it's because they've been playing for the under-23s, played a couple of games for those, but now there's not another under-23 game for a month. So expect Chambers and Mari and all these other ones, if needed, to be playing for the first team or to be called up to it, will be on the bench now that everybody and your grandmother can be on the bench. Right, I've been neglecting the chat. So, Munraj has come out of another corker. Arteta is the best manager we've had 50 years. Fact. Well, I didn't realise that. Thanks for pointing it out. Alex says, even Thor's hammer can't save this season. You're very true there. What other else one's gonna? Polo Bear. How many staff are Arsenal going to sack to bring in top quality players like Willian if they get relegated? Well, we got rid of 55 to bring in the ones that we've got now. So we'll have to start sacking people in the audience, at home, because God knows they're not going to be there. Just get a little message saying you've been sacked, and then we can maybe 10,000 of those, and then when we go down, we can buy some more decent players. Peace Saturday. That is a nice name. How do we have 2 natural right back and can't use them? Do you think the club is badly managed? Yes. There you go, Peace. That's a very easy one to answer. Just going to scroll through some of your things. Here we go. Archie Moy says, haha, Alba, beautiful goal for such a striker. Own goal for such a striker. I didn't read that completely. Let's see what else people are putting in there. Oh, Loki, there you go. Or Lockie, as Sophie called him on the Highbury Squad podcast. Bad Sophie. Cedric is on the Arsenal grey retain until he's 34. Another one with a long contract. Why he wasn't given a 1-year deal, we don't know. It does seem that us Arsenal fans do know better than the people running the club. But I guarantee that if we were running the club, we would be in. Would we be in a more? If ABW is running Arsenal, Nick, would we have it running better than what the current regime of scammers is running it?
Oh, well, obviously we would. I mean, what would we do? We'd have Chris as the manager.
Yeah,
I suppose. What else could we do? Alice could be the doctor because he knows all about that. It says nothing wrong with you. Partey, get on the pitch. It says this walking stick because you're better enough for this.
Cole can be in charge of the away team travel there to make sure they never turn up.
Yeah, there we go. So we're guaranteed we win every game 2-0, but the other team forfeiting. Done. Champions.
Oh, look, we got Arsenal will never get relegated under Big Sam. Well, of course it won't because he's gone to West Brom, hasn't he? Yeah. So
I do like Allardyce. I did always want him a few years ago. In the last couple of years of Wenger, I don't know, because it's just something he said years ago, where someone was giving him grief because of his style of play, and he said, "Yeah, I'm at a club at the bottom of the league with no money." He said, "If I was at a club nearer the top," and I think he said like Arsenal with the players they've got, and he said, "I'll just fix their defence and I'll have them winning the league and the Champions League every year." So I just always wait, just to find out if that's true.
Yeah, I like Big Sam. You're not gonna when he tells Willian to track back. Willian is gonna track back and do his bloody job. He's not gonna, because he won't get a second chance to do it. And there will be no cliques in the dressing room because Fat Sam will go in there and he will have all of you and he will break you and kick you out of the club.
Is Kevin Nolan too old to play though?
What?
Kevin Nolan, he always brings in Kevin Nolan, doesn't he? I think he's too old to play now, isn't he? Yeah. I mean, he's probably still faster than Xhaka, but
probably and better. Loki says I could be head of communications. Mr. Epic say it's too easy at Arsenal. Mr. Epic, that is it explained in 5 words. I had to count the number of words then. Okay, I'm just reading that from there. There we go. Rocky with another one. Spurs will continue to win nothing. 2,067 to 2,100. Does sound about right. Ah, Big Bunny Kane, who was from many of our WhatsApp groups and from our, what do I call it? What's it called? Discord, where we all go and chat. He says, #Sol in. Imagine that. That would be an absolute nightmare. Shouldn't we be back? Yes, they get one time. Divyun. I had to remember the way he typed it. Oh, Travis has turned up. Don't worry, guys. We're winning the league next year. Automatic promotion, baby. Alex, out of interest, I'd like to see Big Sam at the club, see what he can do in attack. Yeah, well, couldn't do any worse than not scoring goals that we're doing at the moment.
Well, apparently we've been dominating games.
Michael says we could do a better job with Chris. Do a better job scouting. Alan Loki Allardyce lives on a diet of flies and cockroaches. Be fine at our place. Avon, if Big Sam did come in, we'd hoover up the Fry Bentos marketing kitty. Oh, indeed. Right. Is there any point talking about the game? Their opening goal, do you remember it? Because I said when I was arranging today's show at 2:00, I said I'm going back to sleep till 4:30. I woke up at 5:15 because there's no one here to shout at me, Dad, get up! Because she's not back until Monday. So, first goal, what happened? Because I didn't see it.
God, such a long time ago now. But try to forget. But
you've blocked it out.
Yeah. Well, basically, they played a nice pass straight through our midfield as usual. Went out wide where Saka was trying to defend at left wing back or whatever that position is, but he had two players running at him. So obviously he couldn't go to one because if he ran to the one player, he'd just pass it out to the other bloke who'd get a free cross at goal. And he was just, by the looks at it, he was just pointing at Willian to just, mark his man. And Willian didn't mark his man. No, he just sort of stood there and looked at him. So they just put basically a free cross into the box. And I think, was it Calvert-Lewin? He scuffed a header and it deflected in off Rob Holden's shin. Not for shin, his calf. That's just, shin's a bit lower down than that. So I think, what's that? 2 weekends in a trot, our captains have scored own goals because last week Aubameyang scored an own goal and today he has, which is kind of upset me because I always wanted Rob Holden to captain Arsenal. And I thought, when I saw that today, I thought, oh, here we go. Great, nice British centre-half as captain of the Arsenal. Let's bring back the good old days and the memories of Tony Adams. And no, it didn't happen.
There you go. Now, our goal, I saw it. I think that Everton were very, very unlucky because their player, Davis, went to clear the ball from the area. And as he pulled his leg back to kick the ball, one of our players ran in front of him, almost Harry Kane-esque, but I don't think Maitland-Niles did it on purpose. But he did pretend that he was dying, which I thought was... There's been a lot of... penalty area shenanigans from our players in recent games. None of it that I'm very happy with. But we've got a penalty, and I thought, well, Pepe, knowing the season Pepe's had, he is probably going to run up, fall over, break his leg, have to go off and someone else take the penalty. But very well taken penalty, wasn't it? He looked like he knew what he was going to do.
Yeah, I mean, he did take quite a lot of penalties when he was in France the season. I think half of his 20-something goals were penalties. So, you can't knock him for that. And obviously... being sent off and, so we say, having a rather up and down season he's had, or up and down Arsenal career he's had. He done well not to buckle under pressure and just sky it, especially because, like I said, it's just nothing but Everton fans behind the goal, breaking social distance and banging up and down the pitch, waving their arms like Colin Firth and Fever Pitch.
Ah, dear. K-Man says, I wish contracts weren't guaranteed in football. But then that would also work the other way, meaning players could just leave whenever they wanted to. Chris Jones said, was disappointed with Holding today. Thought he would lead the back line better. I think it depends on who he's playing with. I think when he's playing with Luiz like he was today, Luiz tends to take over as the man making all the decisions at the back. So
with Gabriel with in a 4 at the back, but then Luiz can only play 3 at the back. So there's a lot of our players we've got that can only play in certain positions and certain formations, and we can't get them to play anywhere.
Before we move on to their goal, Mark Bennett says, Ceballos could have got a red today. Thoughts on squad discipline? We are not learning our lessons. Nick, would you agree that our squad discipline is much like everything else at the club? There is no one in control telling these people what you can and can't do. You don't do that. You stop doing this. There's so it's like it's like the Titanic, and there are holes everywhere, and we're sinking quickly. Aren't we?
Yeah, I think I know what he's talking about, because one of our Everton players went down and he was like laying on top of the ball, kind of like that ball boy did at Chelsea a few seasons ago, and Hazard went and kicked him. And he sort of, I wouldn't say he sort of tried to go in behind him and kick the ball, but sort of kicked the player a little bit as well. But then he got up and then gave a little back to Ceballos. So I don't think that was a red. I don't think that would have been a red card, to be honest. But let's say a lot of our players, I think they're just frustrated being played in the wrong position, which is why I do think a lot of them want Arteta
out. Missed this one from Jack Kane. Not a name I recommend. Don't recommend it or recognise it. Who do you think will win the league? I'm going to say Liverpool, because they are going to do what needs to be done in the January transfer window, and those bin-dipping scumbags and get back-to-back titles. Man City are a mess. Spurs will Spursy it. We aren't going to finish in the top 10, so that's us out. And Chelsea have similar problems to what we do. They look good at times. I mean, he's had a little bit more managerial experience at Derby. They look good at times, but they're so inconsistent. It's ridiculous. Who are you going to go for?
Everton.
It's hard.
Everton would be nice.
Oh, imagine that.
That would be nice. Or even Villa. That'd be lovely if we had another Leicester. Just anyone apart from Spurs. Anyone apart from... Because how much worse would it be if that was Spurs under Mourinho? That'd just be horrible. I was like, COVID, come and get me. Come and get me.
I've already done this, but hello, Thomas in Norway. You're late. Then again, we were late, so I'm not sure how that cancels each other out. Maybe it does. Loki says, nice cross from Iwobi. Willian standing still like an idiot. Well, you know, he's an idiot because that's what he does. Mark Bennett made a good point. Tierney is my captain. So far, Tierney hasn't shown any signs of giving up, has he? Unlike many of the players who give up. You can actually see them giving up during the game at times.
You could just tell he's got that winning mentality from playing at Celtic, who are now not winning since he's left. But, you know, wanting to win and just wanting to play well, you've either, you know, it takes a long time to lose that. And I think too many of our players have got that. I mean, you know, I'm not just saying that they over care or they don't. It's just, do they care enough to, you know, like what they say, run through a brick wall for Arsenal? So Willian, I don't think he'd run to an ice cream cone or whatever. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Wouldn't run for an ice cream van.
Yeah, that's the one. That's what I meant to say. But listen, I just don't think there's many, maybe 2 or 3 players that actually care about Arsenal, really. I mean, you look at how much, I know he's available on a free. I'd get him a contract till the end of the season and give him on a pay as you play Jack. Just prove, you know, what he, you know, granted his legs are made of glass, but that's, you know, if everyone in that squad had his mentality, we'd be in the top 4 by now, thinking about, are we going to win the league? Are we going to sign a couple of players in January to help us win the league? But they just don't. They're just so many players that are just there for a paycheck. And I think that's one of the reasons Arteta's there, is because Wenger couldn't get them to do it in his last year or two. Emery couldn't do it. So I said, Arteta, he knows he's got to get rid of all these players. And I think they already know that most of those players are not going to be there in the summer. That's why they don't care.
I think sadly you could be right there. I'm just going to have a look. Maybe I'm just doing lots of different things at once, people. That's why I go quiet. We've got some questions. Big Bunny Kane. the huge mammary gland that he is, says, if either of you were put in charge tomorrow, I think he means of the club, not just as manager, how long would you allow this form to continue? Remember, your job is also on the line. Bottom half Premier League is not good enough. Regards, Stan. People put questions in there if you've got them. I'm in no hurry. I don't think Nick is. We've got nothing else to do. Yeah, I would. I don't think the manager is the problem. There's all kinds of other situations going around. So first thing I'd do, get rid of all the players that he doesn't want at the club. Give them free transfers, get them out of the club, change the dressing room attitude, then say to him, well, who do you want to bring in? And bring in some players. Like you say, I'd love to bring Jack in. He played in central midfield with Jack during the glory days of Wenger's reign for a time when we had those 3 FA Cups.
We could play him now because he's a homegrown player, so he wouldn't count in the squad. And because he's not playing for a club, we wouldn't need to wrestle. I mean, unless West Ham and other people know he is really broken, you know.
I just read Avon's message. Very impressed with Willian. Played the whole game at walking pace. Shame no one else doing that, really. I think he's cornered the market, Avon. Oh, dear. So, yeah. I don't think Jack will come in. I don't think there's a hope in hell that he's coming in. You?
I think if West Ham and no one else has had a sniff, I think he must. You know what we know about football, you know, on the outside is nothing compared to what people know on the inside. What goes on, he must. I mean, we had this with. Can you remember Owen Hargreaves at Man United a few years ago when he said, "I'm fit, come and get me," and he was posting like videos of him running around with training with like elastic bands and bouncing up and down on yoga balls, and people were like, nah, but I think Man City signed him for 1 season and he played 1 game against Man U for like 10 minutes and got injured. So,
some people are just not built for that. That's a shame because he's a really good player.
I mean, if they can afford it, getting rid of half of those players that aren't going to play now and play the kids couldn't hurt, could it? So we can't do any worse than what we're doing.
We've got enough decent players coming through to not have to play Willock, Nelson, and Nketiah every single game. But then Arteta is making life hard because he's playing Nketiah up front when Nketiah is a goal poacher at best. That's only against. I mean, he's shown it this season. Nketiah only does well against Europa League shit teams. And so Bellerin can come in. Bellerin is an all-round better player with more abilities. He doesn't just like the Ian Wright kind of player, as in the stature, as in the jobs that he can do. But Bellerin can come in and try, but he won't do it. He's almost like he refuses to. Again, yet another thing that Wenger used to do, refuses to do things that everyone else would go, well, why aren't you doing that? Because they think they know better.
Like I said, he recalled him from Leeds, didn't he? So I don't know if like there was a conversation behind the scenes where he said, oh, I need Eddie, he's my man. What about Bellerin in this under-23s? Now screw him, he's rubbish. And now he's going to walk away on a free. And, you know, I just think he's cutting his nose off to spite his face, playing the players he is. I mean, if he got rid of 3 or 4 players in January and Ozil and just came out and said, this is why we got rid of him, because he wasn't doing this, he wasn't doing that. Yes, he did upset China. Yes, he refused to take a pay cut. Yes, he borrowed Stan Kroenke's dog and drowned him in the Thames. Whatever. And here's Emile Smith-Rowe. He's my new number 10. He's going to play for me instead. Everyone would say, all right, fair enough. And it'd be done. But no, they just drag it out over, years? For the last 2 years, we've had a lot of crap with Ozil. No one will come out and say what it is, but just do it. Just done it. Just say, this is how it is. Here's the player who's replacing him. Done. And everyone can move on and we won't keep complaining about it.
Julian Salmon makes a good point. Yeah, he says, no one wants our players. That's the problem. That's why we have to give them away, because no one wants them. I always go back to the same thing. Got Kolasinac, who was a really good left wing back playing in the Bundesliga. He was in the team of the season playing left wing back. He's not a really good defender. He's quite good at getting forward. And Wenger got him on a free, 180 grand a week. And now if he went and played somewhere else, 20, 30 grand a week, if he was lucky playing in Germany, of course he's not going to want to go and play first team football.
I watched him play his first game for us in the, the Emirates Cup. I remember watching him. I mean, it was pissing down the rain, which was fun. When I watched him, I thought, cool, we've got a good player here. He can't defend. We better move him to the wing quickly. We never did.
Thomas from Norway says, I'm seeing Vieira mentioned more and more as manager. Thoughts? No. He's shown at 2 different clubs he's not managerial quality. Much like Henry has shown he's not managerial quality. We've seen so many players over the years. You may be a magnificent player, captain for club and country, and end up being a shit manager. Tony Adams, shit manager. Sadly, and I was even keeping down an eye on his time in Azerbaijan with the shit team that began with Q, because there was 2 teams there, Qarabag or something like that. Shit, absolute rubbish. Rubbish at Wickham, rubbish everywhere he goes. Which is, and he's the greatest captain we've ever had. What do you think, Nick?
Well, what do they say? You know, those who can't do teach, but those play. So it's got to work the other way. Those who can do can't teach. Did I say that right? I think I said that right.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is the really good players make crap managers.
Liam says Balogun has more football intelligence than Nketiah. Yes. ADG Gaming. Oh, we like a bit of gaming. Actually, I might be playing might play some Theme Hospital Hospital 2.0 tonight. This person says, where is our next win? That's a good question. We have got Man City in the league. Oh, I'm not picking my nose, people. My mustache is so long, it keeps drifting up into my nostrils. Bloody thing. We are playing Man City in the League Cup. Will we beat them, Nick?
No.
We have got Chelsea in the Premier League at home.
Draw.
No chance. They'll smash us. Then we have we're away.
Lost 2 on the trot.
Doesn't matter. We'll turn that around for them. Thank you. We're away at Brighton.
Oh dear.
We've not had much luck there over the years, I don't think.
We have. I think we've won, but we haven't played well there. Actually, it's a small pitch.
Yeah,
and it's bound to be chucking it down a rain as well, which for some reason I think we're literally fair weather players. Seems every time you can see on the pitch on the TV that it's raining, everyone just seems to, like, I don't know, put their gloves on and their head disappear into their shirt.
So are we going to beat Brighton? Go there and beat them?
Yeah, I think we're going to have to.
Wrong.
All right.
Let me
so
go.
It's our next win is going to be 2021 then. Is that what you're getting at?
Our next game is away at West Brom in the league. Big Sam, we won't beat them. Home to Newcastle, nope. Home to Palace, who just let in 7 against Liverpool, nope.
Yeah,
home to Newcastle, nope. Away to Southampton, no. I cannot see another win coming for the rest of the season. There you go.
If Arteta doesn't change it up and try something, because I think he's got in his head, this is how I want my team to play football. But unfortunately, he hasn't got the players in his squad that can play the way he wants to play. And we don't have the money to buy those players in 4 or 5 transfer windows, let alone 1 or 2. So unless someone is telling him, like one of his coaches, "Oi, Miguel, you do realise that you're playing crap, don't you? You're picking the wrong players. Everybody hates you." Yeah, they keep that click over there. They said they're texting Stan, said they're going to get you the sack, because they're all getting sick of getting played wrong, because they are getting played wrong. I mean, look at today. I mean, we'll go on to Everton's second goal because we're still trying to talk about the Everton game. When for some reason now, from the corner, we've got Pepe. All of a sudden, he's now marking people in the box, and he doesn't know how to mark that big guy. I don't think. Well, I'm not sure there's anyone who could mark him. But so why have we got Willian sitting as like the free man in case there's a break on? For how old and slow, and the fact he doesn't care. So why is he, just standing there? Well, he's just stood there most of the game. He's right. And now we've got Pepe starting to defend. And I'll tell you what, in his 2 or 3 years in France, I bet he was never asked to come back and defend corners, like marking runners. And, I think he's either the first or the second tallest player at Everton. And we've got Pepe marking. I don't think I've ever seen him tackle someone, let alone, beat them in the air for a header. And yeah, so obviously, that was to be fair, that was a good corner they put in, and that was a nice header, but he just pushed Pepe out the way, just ran past all of our players who were zonal marking. and just got a nice little flick on at the near post. And I'm sure Martinez would have saved that. Obviously, it would have just caught, you know, it just stuck to his hands like he was got those little Velcro pads on, and would have carried on, Chris. But yeah, I can't see why there's so many players individually playing bad as well as the side. You know, try and get 3 or 4 players play. You know, has he not talked to them and say, what are you really good at, mate? What do you think you're really good at playing? How do you think you're good to be played? And he said, I'll play. Oh, well, I'll give you a go. I'll let you try and play like that. But he doesn't. He just wants to play them in Arteta passing up and down the pitch, fullback to fullback, boring football.
I'm just reading people's comments. Matt Roberts is here. Hello, gents. My only concern is if the losses go to hit 10 in the Premier League. Of course they will. I've found our next win, people. It is in the 10th of April. It is the relegation 6-pointer against Sheffield United. We might scrape a win. Yeah, go Thomas from Norway.
I'll hold you to that if they beat us in that game. I'm gonna write that down. Set that in my calendar. When that come up, I'm gonna say in there, Dani guaranteed us a win. You know they're gonna beat us to stay. To like, I won't say stay up because I think they're gone, but they're gonna beat us in that game now, isn't they?
Witty remark from our Twitch says, "How is Willian still getting games?" We have no fucking idea. There's people saying that he should be played in the right position. So far, he's played right wing, left wing. He's played in the 10, the false 10, the fake 10, the fake 10-8, and he's just nothing. Just absolutely nothing is working.
He did all right in Dubai, I think.
Yeah, he did, and didn't get in trouble for it. There you go. Arjit says, what does Arteta have against Emile Smith-Rowe? Does make you wonder. One of the most creative players at the club. He has got a half-decent goal-scoring record for the club. I'll go and have a look at that while you tell people why do you think he isn't playing him?
Because he's not a player that he's picked. Whether or not he said, I want to play Willian there or not pick an Ozil. But it is strange that to drop Ozil for almost a year he hasn't really played and no one else has either stepped up, privately knocking on Arteta's door saying, come on, mate, I'll give it a go. Show me. I will show you. You give me one chance, I will run my ass off for you. And I don't think no one has. I mean, I remember seeing him, was one of his first games for Arsenal a few years ago in the Europa League, and it was a good old Jason. He's coined a phrase there where he plays heads-up football. And I just saw him when he come up, very similar to Fabregas. Not saying he's as good as Fabregas was, but we don't know. We definitely won't know if he's as good as Fabregas if we don't play him. That's 100% sure. But when I saw him play, he's always, the ball's coming to him. He's looking left, he's looking right, he's looking behind him, and he's always trying to pass the ball forward as well. He's fairly, he's good in control of the ball. He can pass, he can tackle. I just don't know why he's not getting him a chance, because if, like I said, everyone has said it, sod this lot of crap, just play the kids. We'll do it. If Arteta did that, I think he wouldn't get as much grief, because he's taken a lot of grief for these players that are not, for whatever reason, are not playing well enough for him. But I don't know. I mean, he did get an injury, though, didn't he? I think he did get injured for a while, but he's been back pretty much since the start of the season.
Well, as a young player, he's been out on loan twice, went to RB Leipzig and didn't really get much because he went there injured, played a few games. Then he went to Huddersfield and people going, bloody hell, Huddersfield were nearly relegated from the Championship. And he played really well. It says here, 19 games, 2 goals. In his entire Arsenal career, 2 Premier League games last season, probably as a sub. And then he's played 16 games and got 5 goals for Arsenal. That's 1 more goal than Eddie Nketiah in a third of the number of games. So he's got to be looking at that and thinking, half the number of games. Yeah, 30. He's played 34. That'll be 32. So what more does the bloke have to do? And these sort of things are the things that are causing the disruption in the team, because players like that should be getting a chance aren't. But a lot of people have said all along, why is Xhaka still playing? Because Arteta has his favourites who will get away with murder. Yeah,
I mean, you got to think, especially early on, Wenger, I don't think he would care who he dropped if he thought that was beneficial to the side. If someone wasn't putting in performance on the pitch, he would be playing him right now. I mean, I know Vieira went to did he go to Juventus or Inter? I can't remember which one he went to, because
he went to Juventus.
And then they got for doing naughty things with, and but and then it's like Fabregas, right, you're in, son. And then even like Gilberto didn't really do nothing wrong, but then he'd let Flamini play, and it's like, maybe he was thinking, well, don't wait for these players to just, die a death, with old age or form or whatever, and just replace them when they're at the peak or just over their peak of their ability, rather than just play them until they're rubbish and no use to the side and no one wants to buy them.
Right. Thomas from Norway has a question. Arteta loaned out Guendouzi and Torreira, who looks like Athletic Cambridge don't want, and they're sending him back, according to reports. Just go to newsnow.com, search Arsenal, and every aspect of Arsenal is there. Whether it's true or not, no idea. He said, is that a sackable offence in retrospect? Because we needed someone like Guendouzi's engine to run around in midfield, and he scored a hell of a goal for Hertha Berlin last weekend. And Torreira, well, what was he? Did he get like player of the game, player of the match 4 times out of 6 in the Premier League when he first joined us? And then how's that all gone wrong? That's the exact player we need at the moment.
Well, with Torreira, for some reason, we played really well for 6, 7, 8 months. And then Emery dropped Ozil and decided he was going to play the only one who was willing and had enthusiasm to play, was a defensive type midfielder, and tried to play him further forward, which upset Torreira because he wanted to play further back. And then he told, no, Granit Xhaka, you can go further back and defend, even though you don't like to defend, and you get frustrated, and then you're going to get substituted and booed by your own fans, throw the captain's armband at him and tell everyone to fuck off. So that's what happened with Torreira. Well, Guendouzi, he didn't apologise. Oh, shut up. This isn't a school. This is not a school where 2 little kids have had an argument. You've got to apologise to the teacher. This is the workplace. These are professional footballers. What has he got to apologise for? A lot of stuff is said on the pitch. Some of it shouldn't be repeated. But from what he apparently said, he was having a go at that Brighton bloke, especially, because was it the game where Leno got injured? Well, yeah, so someone should show a bit of fight and get a little bit arsey. Because I'll tell you what, if that would have happened, to David Seaman, that old back four and the British core and that would have ripped the crap out of them. They wouldn't have allowed their goal, someone to just run in and shove the goalkeeper over and get away with it. They wouldn't just say, oh, never mind, same old us, poor Arsenal. They wouldn't allow that to happen. And they haven't exactly said, it's a lot of leaks, and we've had a lot of leaks that have said he's refused to apologise. Well, if I get upset with my manager at work, he doesn't say sorry. I say, no, just agree to disagree, shake hands, get on with your job. That's what you got to do. Why get rid of him?
I had a question here from someone whose surname is Andre. It says, would Laurent Blanc be good for Arsenal? What do you think? I'm sure that he's won the title with Chamakh. He had Chamakh up front, and then we got Chamakh the next season or the season after. I think it's Bordeaux. Won the title with Bordeaux, and then I think he got 3 or 4 in a row with PSG, and then he was manager of France for a couple of years. I don't really think that worked out too well. He might be managing in the Middle East now, maybe. No, it's not. How I remember where Xavi is, it makes me sad that he's Al Sad. So you remember people. He might be retired now, and I think that's where Santi has gone, Al Sad or someone like that. He's managing over there somewhere. I'm sure he is. So I think he'd be a decent manager. He's a well-respected person in the game. He's been playing in England and France and Italy, a few spells in Italy. I know he was at Man United for a little while. Would you have him?
Possibly. He's got experience. He's got, good and bad, which is the experience you want. You want to get, because you look at Frank, he had a year and a bit at Derby. Did he have a year and got him promoted or something like that?
To the playoff final and they lost.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, he didn't. No, Rooney's there. But so And is he much better than Arteta at the moment? Probably not. He didn't win.
Everybody's better than Arteta.
Oh yeah, since he's been there, should I say? But he's having up and down performances, but at the moment we're just getting down performances and not getting the up performances we had. So we're getting down and down. He's getting up and down. What I'm saying is Arteta's got to get it up. No, hang on, that's not right. Beep that, Dani. Beep that.
Can't beat, it's too late. It's gone. Newcastle drew 1-1 with Fulham. Thank God for that. That means Fulham haven't caught up much space on us, and we are still safe in 15th position. Brighton, who are Brighton playing? They are playing Sheffield United tomorrow. Well, Brighton are going to win, and then Brighton will go above us, so we'll be down to 16th. Oh, mama!
Well, Welbeck's there, isn't he, Brighton?
He is, yeah. He's playing
he's going to score against us, isn't he?
Yeah, probably. Oh, here we go. Mark Bennett, would you take Overmars as technical director if Edu had to go? Man United are sniffing around, according to the Transfer Market podcast. A transfer podcast with Duncan Castles. Go and have a look at it, people. Very, very good. Very reliable. And that's not just because I like him. But yeah, they were talking about the Man United looking at Overmars as I think director of football. But he did it at Ajax and made Ajax brilliant, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, I loved Overmars when he played, and even when what was it that the Legends game they put on a few years ago with against Real Madrid, and I was like, damn, can we register this guy? He's still got it, and there's like mid-40s. But I mean, I don't know this technical director. I don't know if that's who or what agents you're pally with and things like that, than rather how good a technical director you are, but. If we're going to get rid of him, then we might as well get rid of Arteta as well, because we can't see it and they haven't told us everything. Edu and Arteta have got a plan for the next 3 to 5 years, what they want to do, how they want to play, what type of players they want to bring in, what players they want to get rid of. If you get rid of one or the other now, you're going to have to start that again, aren't you? And I don't know if they're ready for that yet.
Okie dokie. Right, we've been going for an hour and 15 minutes, people, and we've put more effort into this podcast. Ryan, if you want to put a link into your YouTube for your podcast, feel free, me old mucker. Ryan is the hardest working Arsenal YouTuber out there. He does so much stuff. There's a great quiz, which I've been on a few times, and one of them I think I won. I've won about 1 out of the 5 I've been on. So he's a lovely bloke. There's lots of really nice people on there, and it's a really good podcast. And I listen to nearly all of them. Does watch-alongs, does a lot of watch-alongs. So if you're bored, and we are very bored, you're not allowed out to play anymore because the UK is in lockdown level 1000. You're not even allowed to look out the window anymore because I'm not going to go political, but Boris, you're a fucking moron. I voted Greens before anybody starts. I voted Greens. That's how bad politics is in this country. I resorted to Greens. Ah, dear. Right. Ryan, yes, if you want to put yours in there, and if it doesn't work, Ryan, let me know in the chat and I will go and get it, because yours is one of the channels I follow. I only follow about 5 Arsenal YouTube channels of my own personal account. Mark Bennett says, Overmars had to sack my favourite player of all time, Dennis Bergkamp. Yeah, they fell out, didn't they? That was a little bit weird.
I didn't know he got sacked.
Yeah, he was assistant manager under De Boer, and I think after De Boer left, there was someone else there as manager, and he sacked the pair of them because De Boer went off to manage Crystal Palace for nearly 7 whole minutes, then went off to Atlanta United in their MLS, and did shit all there because he was playing boring football when they're full of South Americans. And then he left there at the end of the season. I don't know where De Boer is at the moment. There you go. The link hasn't worked. So you say something nice. Sum up the rest of the game. What happened near the end? Have we done their last goal, Nick?
Yeah, the guy headed it, and that was Willian's fault for not help. Well, I'll say, that was Pepe let him go, but that's Willian's fault because Pepe shouldn't have been defending. I think that was it. And then what did we have? We had some subs. No one really did anything. Martinelli came on, which was nice because that's his first game back. I'm not saying, was it all together or in the league for the last?
First one ever.
Yeah, first one back since last year when they said, "Oh, he's got a slight knock. He'll be out for a fortnight," and then 2 months later, he's still not back and have an operation, and then 12 months later, he's back. And I think he's our saviour of Arsenal at the moment because, I mean, to be fair, he was doing really well last year, which is another one why I can't understand why Balogun isn't playing because, you know, he was doing well in Europa League. Last year, Martinelli was doing well in Europa League, and they let him play in the Premiership. But for some reason, he doesn't want to play him. But yeah, he came on. So what else happened? Some more players come on. Nothing really happened. So I think our best phase of play actually came in stoppage time for that last 5 minutes. So they got upset, and we could have actually scored 2 or 3 goals in 5 minutes if we had a shot, maybe.
Well, we were on a high.
We were playing really well. I think we got upset because Everton did a dodgy with, I want to say Calvert-Lewin or Richarlison, one of the two, where they brought the board up and he just turned his back and didn't look at it. And then just said, I didn't see the board.
Yeah, that was Calvert-Lewin. And then when he got to the touchline, stopped just before walking off the pitch and pulled his socks up just to take the piss.
Well, yeah, it was taking the piss, which annoys me because the referee did nothing, yet, I mean, the rule is, which has been for the last 2 or 3 years in the league, is you don't do that because they couldn't stop people doing that slow, pretending to run, but actually moving slower than a walk off the pitch. And then a few weeks ago, we had Aubameyang got subbed with about a minute to go, and he turned. I think it might have been the Man United game, actually. And he turned, he's like, oh, my number's off. Right, I'll get off the pitch. And not only were the Man United players try to shove him off behind the goal, even the referee come and shoved him off and said, walk round the back of the pitch and off. And then as he was walking off the pitch, he went to play, right, come on. And as the player was coming, I think we brought another defender on. And then he blew the whistle for a free kick to let him take the free kick as our player was out like 2 yards onto the pitch. And it's just one of those weird things that sometimes, you know, they bring these rules in, but some people get done with them, some people don't. Like the Bellerin getting done for the old foul throws. And I'm like, well, pretty much everyone's been making foul throws in the Premiership for the last 20 years. I think, watching where it was on Sky, I think Evra said, well, to be honest, he said, if they're saying that's a foul throw, I've made foul throws throughout my whole United career.
Melon Tube. Is that an actual channel, Melon Tube? Do you talk about melons? I'm a fan of the melon. My favourite melon is the honeydew. Burnley still have 2 games and could go above Arsenal right now, and Fulham is leading 1-0 right now. Well, that is 1-1 right now, minimising the gap so Arsenal might be in the relegation zone soon. There's no need for that. We were having such a lovely time. Highlight of the game, Nick, before we end the show, because this half-hour show has been longer than most podcasts. So what's your highlight of the game?
When the referee blew the final whistle and it was over, that was the highlight of the whole game.
I can't argue that. My highlight of the game was Eddie Nketiah marking Mina for the corners. Wow, there you go. A bloke who's 8'8", being marked by a bloke who's 3'3". That is here we go. Someone's put Alex says you can't beat a nice pair of melons. I like my melons in 4s, just so people don't get the wrong idea. Oh, Loki also likes melons. Anyone else? Nick Smith says United are back. Well, they're better than us. Arsenal has become here we go. Bro. Arsenal become a place for all the bad players to make a lot of money. You, sir, or madam, I don't know. G is true. Highlight for Mark Bennett was Martinelli coming on. Yeah. Alex says Arsenal are lemons. All right, I'm going to finish the show now, Nick. We will be back on what day is the Man City game? I've just looked at it and I had it on the screen and now I've forgotten. I think it's on the 22nd, but now it's Christmas. Actually, it's the 22nd, and I'm going to have to Tuesday. So we're playing Man City on the Tuesday. Are you sitting down when I tell you who is doing the show? You will not believe it. It's only Norwich's finest. Norwich's finest. And I don't mean you, and I don't mean what's his name? He's in the chat. I've forgotten his fucking name. The one I was accused of living in Wales. What's his name? Huh?
The third wheel from Norwich.
It's gonna be Ellis. Hold on, wait there. It's gonna be Ellis. And you can all join in with the fuck Ellis and ask him about his fucking hollybobs, because Ellis is a shitbag who's turning up for his regular one show per year. His bullshit excuse, people. He's a nurse at the NHS and he's saving people's lives. What a bullshit excuse. We're more important. You should be on here every week, Ellis. Grant Holt is Norwich's finest, apparently. No, he was here at the beginning of the show, and he's gone a bit quiet now. Right, yeah. So it's going to be Josh and Ellis, and I will be pressing the buttons on Tuesday the 22nd. The Offspring will be back, so I won't be doing the show because she'll be in the background screaming like a 22-year-old drunkard that she is. And then on the Saturday, what day is the Chelsea game on? That's on Saturday, Boxing Day. I don't think we're doing a game. Yeah, Boxing Day. We're not doing a game. We're not doing the Chelsea game because, quite frankly, we're not going to ruin our day by talking about not a game. I don't know if I'm going to watch it, and so we might not have a podcast this week. We will be doing the Man City game. Yep, and not doing the Chelsea, not doing a podcast, and then towards the end of the year, we'll be back doing a couple of things, but also the Gooners podcast. No, yes, with Mike and Andy. They're working on something very, very special. So go onto YouTube, find the Gooners podcast with Mike and Andy, and they are doing something very, very nice. It's a really nice thing they're doing. I'm not going to let up what they're doing because it might be a secret, but it might bring a tear to people's eyes, which is why they're doing it. It's nice. Oh, Thomas says, you must suffer with us, Dani. No, I will not be suffering. I will mostly be rubbing my belly and asking for more custard on my chicken. And on those wise words, Nick, I'm going to go. So thank you very much, Nick, for joining us tonight. Where can people find you on the Twitterings and the Twitchings?
Was it Nick Fights on both? Because I knew how to change my name on the on Twitter, so I've changed that. So I might be streaming Boxing Day. So if Arsenal have done really bad against Chelsea, you could just come into my chat and just shout at me. I'll try and make you feel better.
There you go. I even have a cut and paste ready for Nick's Twitch channel. And he's very nice people. He plays shit games, but if you like shit games, then he hasn't once played Hospital 2.0 or My Life in Porsche. So quite frankly, Nick, you're dead to me.
I'm playing Batman next.
Ooh, on the PlayStation 4?
No, on the Xbox 360.
360?
Yeah. Dirty
boy. Right. Rocky Balboa. Have you changed your name, Rocky? Because you've been quite involved tonight. And yes, I don't recognise your name. Good night, boys and girls. And yes, that's very true. Naz says Jason was on that pod. Yes, Jason was on with Mike and Andy and someone else. I've not watched it yet, so I'm sure it was very good because Jason is a top class podcaster, probably better than me. And yes, unlike Mike, who is shit. Which is a great way to end the podcast, being horrible about Mike. He's not going to listen. He's not going to watch, so fuck him. Yeah, so thank you very much, everybody. Oh, I need to turn this off. I'm going to highlight that one, then do this one. And also, if you have got hairy balls and you don't want hairy balls or a hairy gusset, go to manscaped.com. Manscaped. I've got my tooth missing, so I missed off the d. Manscaped.com and use the code Bergkamp for 20% off all of the wonderful things. They even offered to send us more stuff. They said we can send you the Weed Whacker, which is one for whacking your weeds. I think they do nostrils and ears and bums. I don't know what they do, but you can go there. And so far, 4 of you have been there and bought stuff. And they said if we can make it to 10 people going and buying stuff, they're going to sponsor us more often and give us more shit. I say shit, I mean stuff. I don't mean it's shit. It isn't shit because we all use it. It's very, very good. And so, yeah, 6 of you, just go and buy it. Even if you don't need it, go and buy it for someone who's got a hairy bum, but don't tell them why you bought it, or hairy balls. And just tell them, yeah, you need to get this done, get some shaven balls, sort your life out, stop being a dirty, hairy monkey. On that note, I am going to say thank you very much, Nick, and good night, everybody. I'm going to leave it with you saying that.